is up, lit people? I'm Armenti and welcome back to another Loomian Legacy video, guys. In today's video, I'm gonna give my review on the Sepharite City update. So, Sepharite City has been the biggest Loomian Legacy update yet. After waiting 9 months for a new battle theater, the Llama Train Studio team delivers one of their greatest works to us through their game Loomian Legacy. Due to the very long wait between Hiwa Village and Sepharite City, people were getting very frustrated while waiting for this update to release. On the day Sepharite City released, the game skyrocketed up to 35,000 players from its average 4 to 5,000 players. Sepharite City update comes after the Gaklo event update, which served as a small event before the big update. On average, it takes around 45 to 75 minutes to complete this new update. Now I'm gonna start talking about the story. I'm gonna review the story of the update. So in comparison to the story the game previously provided, Sepharite City met all expectations. A fan favorite, Jake, came back and played a very huge role in the story. Jake secretly stole a key from POLUT Corp member Lydia and snuck into Dr. Vanta's secret lab to discover that POLUT Corp was working on producing an army of dark energy enhanced Loomians and planning to sell the army for profit. It was seen that POLUT Corp was driven by money. Many other things occurred during this update that will be key for the story in the future. Mabel, Lucy, Lucas, and Jake officially joined us on our adventure in comparison to Pokemon Break Bronze, where Jake was the only partner. Mabel also has a crush on Jake, which is similar to when Jake had a crush on Tess back in Pokemon Break Bronze. Other than shaping the game's story, we were introduced into Mabel's past and Sepharite City Battle Star's Faust past. We were told about how Mabel has problems at home and how Faust is still alive thanks to POLUT Corporation's technology that saved her life after she had a big accident. Ultimately, POLUT Corporation made it seem as if they were a nice corporation, but in reality, they were in it for the money. My only complaint with the story was that it felt very easy to get to Sepharite City from Hiwa Village. There are only 2 NPCs that the game forces you to battle to get to Sepharite City. While on the other hand, when trying to get from Sylvan City to Hiwa Village, the game forces you to battle Lucy and Lucas and 1 NPC in Route 4, 4 corrupted monks in Igneous Hollows, and 2 monks in the Route 5 pagoda when solving the puzzles. My overall review for the story is a 9.5 out of 10. Now I'm gonna be talking about the building. With the release of Sepharite City came Route 7, Sepharite Junkyard, Sepharite City, POLUT Corporation Campus, and POLUT Corporation Labs. Now I'm gonna start talking about Route 7. So the only route that Sepharite City added was Route 7, and it felt very short lengthwise. As a comparison, it takes roughly 32 seconds to mount from Hiwa Village to Sepharite City, when it takes around roughly 67 seconds to mount from Sylvan City to Hiwa Village, a little bit more than twice the amount. Despite the length, Route 7 does a flawless job at representing a polluted city and gives a nice introduction to Sepharite City. From the spray painted Loomians on the walls to the polluted highway filled with bikers followed to the Junkyard, Route 7's build is one of the most impressive routes so far in the game. To include, there was a lot of attention to detail when making Route 7, which overall contributed to how well it was built. Now I'm gonna be talking about Sepharite City build. In comparison to Hiwa Village, Sylvan City, and Cheshire Town, Sepharite City build has been the biggest yet. From the rotting trees and the broken pipes as soon as you enter the city, to garbage being thrown all around the place, Sepharite City does a very good job at portraying a polluted city. The city comes with the addition of 3 restaurants, Brad's Bread, Power Bagel, and a returning restaurant from Pokemon Break Bronze, New Sushi Stick, which in my opinion, New Sushi Stick would have been more fitting. Sepharite City also has a hotel which is not yet operational since the update has not been added to the game. My only big criticism of Sepharite City will be the main leak that was shown a few months ago. The first ever leak of Sepharite City focused on the tall buildings, and when the game was released, the tall buildings didn't have much to do with the city itself. Was this done on purpose? I remain clueless. In the end, Sepharite City is one of the best builds so far from the Llama Train Studio development team. Now I'm gonna be talking about POLUT Corporation's builds. My first impression of the POLUT Corp lab was that it resembled Team Eclipse's base from Pokemon Break Bronze. Both of these places are very similar. In both situations, you had to find the main control room, then press a button, and after pressing that button, the main evil room is unlocked. Overall, POLUT Corp's lab was very well built. The control room, the place where the scores were upgraded to the trucks in the transport room, and the pipes on the roof, all of these little details contributed to the overall build being as amazing as it is. My final rating for the buildings of Sepharite City is 9.5 out of 10. Now we'll be talking about the new Loomians that were released in this update. So there were 17 new Loomians added to the game with the release of Sepharite City. These Loomians were Burroch, Garbantis, Whimper, Stratosaur, Teriti, Diborg, Operaptor, Concredon, Tyrex, Chumpactor, Munchwheel, Scorb, Valence, Gardron, Putril, Hunter, and Protogon. Out of these 17 Loomians, 8 of them were designed by POLUT Corp. My main complaint with the new Loomians was the repetitiveness. The first 6 Loomians I encountered while hunting in Route 7 were all Chumpactors. On top of that, 4 out of the 6 trainers that you can battle in Route 7 have a Chumpactor. To include in the POLUT Corp lab, 6 out of the 8 trainers that you battle have a Scorb. I understand the argument of not wanting to reveal every new Loomian through the NPCs, however, I felt that it would have been nice to have more of a variety of Loomians when battling these NPCs. Design-wise, the Loomians were very well made. The Loomians that were designed by POLUT Corp had a machine feel to it, while I felt that a Loomian like Burroch belonged where it was, a roach being in a place with a lot of trash. Other than the design, the way to obtain 2 Loomians in particular was very interesting. To obtain Teriti, you need to wait for it to be night, and then a wild Teriti will appear near one of the graffitis already painted on the wall. To evolve Scorb, you need to kill other wild Scorb, gather the parts that they drop, and then take those parts to a scientist in the POLUT Corp lab so that he could upgrade the Loomian. My final rating on the Loomians are 8 out of 10. Now I will be talking about the mounts. There were 3 new mounts added with Sepharite City update that were unlockable after you obtained the respective new Loomians. The 3 new mountable Loomians are Diborg, Gardron, and Tyrex. My favorite mount, by far, was Gardron's mount. The cool thing about this mount is that you are being abducted by the Loomian itself, which honestly adds a nice touch to it. My least favorite mount was Diborg's one. I felt as if this mount was too basic, which was just riding on top of the Loomian, compared to the amazing mounts that the game gives you already. For example, Himber is kidnapping you, Syrenite carries you as a baby, Dusket helps you float, and much more. The other mount, Tyrex, was very cool as well. It can be seen that with this Loomian was designed with the mount idea in mind, since when you mount it there's a chair with some controls, which is the place where the user goes upon mounting it. Other than the new mounts, it would have been nice to have new mounts from current Loomians, not just the new Loomians that were being added. Also, as to the mounts in general, it would feel nice if there would be more mounts like Dusket's ones. Since Dusket is a small Loomian, it is easier to move around rather than having to mount around larger Loomians. My final rating for the mounts are a 7 out of 10. Now I'm going to be talking about the NPCs. There were many new different NPCs added to the game with the Sepharite City update. Most, if not all, these NPCs had unique designs which contributed to the game experience. Some NPCs were references to TV characters or movies such as The Terminator, Ben 10, Teen Titans, and Dragon Ball. Each NPC served its purpose well of enhancing the gameplay experience and very well belonged to where they were placed. My final ratings on NPCs are 10 out of 10. Now I will finally be talking about the music of the new update. With the update, 3 new music tracks were released, excluding the change of Cheshma Town's music. As someone who spends countless hours listening to video game OSTs, I was very impressed with the new music added to Loomian Legacy. I believe that the music served its purpose well with this update and that I can spend hours listening to these new tracks without getting bored. Sepharite City music reminded me of the movie Ready Player One, which now that I compare both together, they are very similar. Route 7's music was very much slower and calming, while the music in POLUT Corporation's lab felt as if it was the opposite, which was very fitting. My final rating on the music is 10 out of 10. So overall, in conclusion, I felt that the Llama Train Studio development team delivered very well with the Sepharite City update. Many gaps were filled story-wise, plus the new buildings, new Loomians, and the NPCs were pretty much amazing with this update. I am very excited to see what the future holds, and I'm very interested to what the game will do in the future and the new updates that the game will have. My final review on the Sepharite City update is a 9 out of 10. So yeah guys, that has been my whole entire review on the Sepharite City update. If you enjoyed watching, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm Armenti, and we lit.